Hello everyone and welcome to this webinar about the accounting release highlights of 19.2 and 19.3 for the accounting. So I'm Robin and I'm with Claire.
Yeah, hello everyone. So I'm Claire. I'm in the accounting experts team with Robin, and today we will explain you all the new features that we have in the last two versions. So we will take time to present you the main improvement. We will provide you naturally a complete release note, and at the end of this webinar, we will answer your question.
So today we'll discuss the new features in the account configuration, the new features related to assets, the new features related to payment management, how the currency has been adapted, and we have changed some stuff in the screens and in the views. So Claire, can you show us a bit how we improved the account configuration?
Yes, for sure. So I will present you these three new features that we have in the account configuration, but I propose to go directly inside a database in 90.3. So inside the accounting configuration, if you go to your chart of account, now you can, by instance, I select my 610 account, and you see that for this account now I can configure a parent account. Okay, it will give a structure of your account, and this structure you can use it after in your different report. Like by instance, if I open my trial balance, I see that now I have a group of my both accounts 610 and 610 directly inside my report. Okay. A second new feature that is really great for US localization, it's now that you can create a new account without code. So it's not more mandatory, just optional. You see that here, if I come, it's gray, and my name is still mandatory. So it's really nice for the US. Mm-hmm. And the last thing that we have made here is just that you can select on your account, you can select your account that you want to use for the payment reconciliation. But the other accounts stay available for a reconciliation for I will show you, maybe it will be easier. I go by instance on my journal items, and if I open my account 411, and I see that here I have just a bill and a credit note that I want to select and reconcile together. I just want to select both. I can reconcile, and I have directly a matching number. So nice. It's not because I cannot reconcile for banks that I cannot reconcile here directly. Really nice, huh?
Yeah, nice. So now we can reconcile anything, basically.
Yeah, anything.
Okay.
I let you present you maybe about the asset configuration, because
okay.
I think that there is also some change.
Yep, indeed. Let's go. So here in this case, we have changes in the 19.3 and the 19.3 version. Here are the new features, and I will do the same as Claire. I will show you directly in a database. So first of all, if I go into the chart of accounts and I group by account type, go into my fixed assets, and I take one of my choice, you see that the view has been adapted a lot. Basically now, even if I'm in a fixed asset account, well, I don't have the automation tab anymore. Everything is set here. So I will determine what is my depreciation model. So this is the model. I will put my accumulated depreciation account and my depreciation expense account. Okay. So that's a new view and the new feature. But also what has been changed is the fact that if I go into my depreciation models, you see here I have a lot. I can create a new one, and now I have the option to put a rate or a duration, and I can even use a decimal duration. Okay, so if I put 2.5 years, and I will go back into my chart of account again, into my let's take my 24 account, and here I will put my 2.5 years. I will show you directly into a bill that I will add that account. So it was my 24. First of all, you see as well that here you have a better view on what has been done. So you see that I have my linear asset model. I can even click on it and change it. And if I put a price, of course, let's say it's 10,000, and I confirm it, yeah, my bill date, I confirm it. You see here that when I go to the process, yeah, I forgot my label. Really important. You see that Odoo gives you the proper proposition, asset creation. Let's say there you go. Confirm again, and you see that now when I confirm my bill, well, my asset is automatically confirmed as well. So that's it about the depreciation, the asset management, sorry. So what about the payment now? What are the new novelties we have in the newest version?
Yes, but I propose to show you directly. We have made some change and in 90.2 and in 90.3. So first of all, in the payment management, if you go to your vendors and you take your payment, you see that now we have more status that is more accurate, more comprehensive, and that you can really understand on which position you are. First of all, you have the draft. That has to say that you have already created your payment, but not yet confirmed, not yet sent. After you have your pay status, it has to say that you have confirmed your payment. And the last one is reconcile. It has to say that you have already reconciled with a bank transaction or a cash transaction.
Yeah, that's way clearer.
It's really better. After, if you check, you have naturally, if I come back to my vendor bills, and maybe I go too fast and I select my both bill that I want to pay, you see that I have directly a message that says, pay attention, you have already paid once of this both that you have selected. So you have really a message that is help you.
And you can click on check payments to see the payments
and you
related.
Find directly on which payment you have a difference. Okay?
Nice.
That's really nice. You limit your error that you can make during the payment. But I find that the really game changer is this one that I will present you, is that now you can initiate your payment in your bank from Odoo. So it's not mandatory now to download an XML file and to send to your bank. You can make all this feature directly from Odoo. I propose to show you. So I have here this bill that I need to pay. And I will, as mentioned, take here a journal for which I have already, a bank for which I have already synchronized my bank with Odoo. Okay, you see that in place to have pay, I have pay now. It's really good because I will click on that, and like that I can go directly. You see that it's load. I can go directly on Ponto. I need to have a Ponto account here. For this case, I can add naturally my password. Because it's for Ponto, it's payment, there is double authentication that I need to make, so I will directly done with my
That's nice. So there is an extra security. You make sure that
yeah, for sure.
Not because everyone can do it.
Yeah, indeed. Because it's payments, it's really mandatory to have this double authentication. And after I come directly inside Ponto, you see that I have here my balance. So it's quite okay to pay this small bill. I can sign. I need to give an authentication, my e-signature, and now you will see that my payment is received by the bank. If I go back to Odoo, you see that now my bill is in payment, and if I go to my payment, I have now here my pay status. You see that for the moment is unsigned, but I can update the status with this small pending, and I see that now it's pending, and after it will come to accept it when it will be done. But it's already done. Okay, so you see directly the payment. I just make this small demo with a payment, but you can do the same from a batch payment also. Okay.
Nice. So you could create a whole batch and do then the payment through Ponto.
Yeah, through Ponto for the moment. I know that there is another third party.
That will come soon indeed. Yeah.
Okay. So really grateful. Let me know about the currency. So if I come back, I have presented you all these three, but about currency, there is also some change now.
Yep, indeed. So those changes are since 19.2. So you see here the changes related to the conversion rate that is visible, a consolidation of the gains, and a CTA that is now added on a specific line. So, well, you have seen just before that there were payments, but if I do a payment now for another currency, if I go here, I can click on pay, and you directly see here now the currency rate that is applied, which is really nice because if for some reason you want to check and make sure that the correct currency is used, well, you can see it directly from here. Let's say I create a payment, fine. So again, the status is here. But what I did before is pay my bill in dollars. And the big change here for this version is the fact that we have now a consolidated line with the exchange profit here in this case, but it could be an exchange loss as well. And if so, you see here the amount, which is pretty clear. And if you look into the information, well, you see from where it's coming. So you have the exchange entry related to my bank that was reconciled. You see here, and you can see in your reconciled items. So you can really drill down from the base information into the data that is behind. So that's really the game changer because well, before it wasn't that clear, and now we really have a consolidated
you
line.
Find directly the information. It's really interesting.
Exactly. So you see, well, you paid $2,000, and you see the impact in euro directly from here.
Great.
And so that was about the payments, the rates related to the payments. Now we have added something more related to the currency rate that is applied when you are in a consolidation view.
Okay.
To show you that, well, I will first go into my report here. Let's say I go into my balance sheet, and I connect to my different accounts. So you see I took some of our Odoo offices. And from here, well, first of all, you see that those are the aggregated figures from my different companies, which is really nice. But more importantly, you see now that we have an added line that is really showing what is my CTA, so my cumulative translation adjustment related to my to all my companies. And again, I can drill down in it, and you see that by default it's grouped by the type of account. You can open it, and you see, which is really nice is as well, you have a column showing what is the CTA, so showing you what was the amount in the foreign currency and what is the CTA applied related to those foreign currencies. So yeah, that's a really nice new feature because before it wasn't that clear, and that's our goal to go further to a more consolidated view, and that's one of the points that needed to be adapted.
Yeah, it's really, really helpful.
Yeah, indeed.
Maybe I can show you another new feature about the screen and the view that we have for the consolidation. So if I go back to the view within screen, I will show you that now as before, we have the ledger, but I don't know, see if you know, but before, when you create a ledger, you need to select all journals that you want to exclude.
Yep.
Now, we will work on the other way. It has to say that you can create a specific ledger. By instance, if I create for my IFRS, and I can select my specific journals that I want inside this ledger. Okay, so how it works, by default, Odoo will assign a specific ledger by company for all the journal, and after you can select a specific ledger for a specific journal. I will also show you, so you can also select this ledger directly from your journal By instance, I'm in the cell of Odoo Belgium, and you see that here I have my ledger local gap, and after I can select another one if I want. Okay, so really helpful also for my consolidation.
So that means that when there is nothing set there, it's just taking the local gap. So
yeah, by default, it will be you have 4. It has to say because you have 4 companies, so 1 for Odoo Belgium, 1 for Odoo US, 1 for Spain, and 1 for Odoo Hong Kong. Okay. And after you can create one that you can share between the different companies.
All right.
Okay. And the last thing that we want to show you, it was really simple, but it was really...
last but not least, I think that's one of the best features we were waiting for.
Yeah, it was the thing that we are waiting indeed since a lot of version and it's now available. It's why if you select now different bill from your list view, thanks to the action button, you can now make a reset to draft in Masa. So it's not more needed to go inside each of them to reset to draft. So really helpful because it takes a lot of time if you want to modify different bills.
And we didn't create a server action.
No, we didn't. Yes, because we did it indeed before, but today it's included automatically. Okay, so really very nice feature. So I hope to see the version 20 to see all the new other feature.
Indeed. So we want to show you this as well because it's really important for us that to show you that what Odoo is proposing is simple, transparent, and scalable, which means that from one app, you have one app, it would be free. You have all apps for one price. Everything is visible on our website, and included in that price is the hosting, the maintenance, the upgrades, and so on. You have unlimited support. Support is free, and there is no hidden cost. So if you are interested in Odoo, well, you can scan this to see the full pricing and calculate your cost, because you will see you can calculate your cost depending on what you need, and if you need consultancy hours to help you for implementation, for instance. And as well, if you need some advice from a colleague to see one of our advisors that will call you, show you demos and so on to make sure that Odoo is fitting to what you need, well, don't hesitate to scan this and we'll come back to you. All right, so that was it about the presentations of our new features. I propose we take a small break to well, have our product owner with us, change the place of Claire and change our mics, and we will start with the Q&A once that's done. See you then. Hello, welcome back. So Claire has changed, and I'm now with the product owner of the accounting, and we have received some questions in the pad. So don't hesitate if you have your question to add them as well. And we can start with the first one from Valedger, Odoo Consulting, Kevin V. Can we set the same account of the asset as depreciation account?
Yeah, so hello everyone. I'm not the product owner of accounting, I'm one of. We're actually a team of 7 and probably growing. So to get back on the question, can we set the same account of the asset as the depreciation account? You should. And I think there was a version on which it was not possible, but we will change that. We know that this is actually accounting practice. Depends on the localizations, depends on the countries, depends on how people do accounting. For example, in Belgium, we use separate accounts to record the original value and the accumulated depreciation entries. But we know very well that in other countries, they use the same accounts and they do everything in there. We will support both. There might be, I think in 1902, there was a time where the account was filtered out in the list. This was just a mistake and it would be changed. Okay. So that constraint will disappear because we know it's very useful.
So the answer is currently not, but we are working on it.
Yeah, it's going to be changed.
Church Hill Business Systems, is Odoo developing a model for FRS 102 to account for non-balance sheet leases which from the 1st of Jan 26 have to be accounted for on the balance sheet?
I think that's a complex question. We don't really need that because we have already systems in place that allows you to do specific entries in specific journals and then add or not those entries when you open a report. So maybe I can go directly in a database just to show that quickly. It's what we call our feature the multi-ledger, which is here. So, well, that's great. On the database, we already have an example. So basically what we do with those is you can set up what we call ledger groups. And ledger groups will then be used to group together specific journals. So let's say, for example, I'll just do it quickly. I would create an miscellaneous journal that I'm going to call IFRS. Here, okay, and then I will say that when I'm using my multi-ledger, my IFRS journal will also, I do have a lot here. I will include that journal in that group of journals, okay. I'm going to take this one, okay, whereas this one will not. So basically, this will allow me to record specific entries in that IFRS journal, and that allows you to create all the necessary adjustments that you need to create because, let's say you are, for example, in Belgium, you do most of your accounting in GAAP, but then you have to report using IFRS, which is mostly the same, but some adjustments need to be done or need to be accounted differently. You continue to do your regular accounting in your normal journals, and you use that for your Belgian reports. And then when you need to report in a different norm, like the IFRS, you create specific adjusting entries in that journal. So I'm going to create an example of that very quickly. I go here in my IFRS journal, and then here I would create a specific entry, like for example, a change of assets. Okay. Yeah. I post that entry when I need to. And then when I use my report, let's say I think the question was on the balance sheet. Now I can decide whether or not I'm going to use or do my report in my local GAAP, which is the standard group that we propose you, including all your journals. And then I could add or not my IFRS journals. So basically all numbers here will change based on the fact, do I need to take into account the adjustments or not? And then you have something very dynamic that allows you to basically use the same report using 2 different accounting norms. I think that's a very generic system that we have in place and that allows people to do their regular daily accounting in the local accounting practice, but then very easily create the adjustments need to report in another norm, and the typical use case is IFRS.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't go too much into the details here, but we have documentation online, and you see how powerful this can quickly be, because basically you can apply that to every single journal that you want.
Exactly. And maybe if I can add something, we have in Odoo one ledger, and we use the differentiation through journals, because I know in other systems you have a lot of ledgers possible. Here in Odoo we have one ledger, which makes it way more easy to have a proper accounting. And then thanks to this, we have specific journals that we can include or exclude in this case.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next question. Hello, from Anne Bardou. Hello, when do you plan to make the links for Swiss banks and Post Finance?
And I can see that question is very popular, because we also have it a bit later from the Rico Whitehead.
Yep.
This is ongoing process. We are directly talking with the Swiss banks to make sure that it happens. It has moved forward a lot, and I think all the last barriers have been set down for a direct integration with Swiss banks. It's very hard for me to give you a date, because I don't decide when it's going to be done. We are not the only one that can decide that. But this is like one of our hottest topics right now in a very popular localizations for us, which is Switzerland, on which we are taking that very seriously. And it's one of our priorities. So as soon as we can, basically, that's going to be done. But we are not the only one deciding on when. So impossible for me to give you a precise date here. But it's ASAP.
Yeah, we were working on it because we know it's a need. Let's go to the next one. Again, Churchill Business Systems, are there plans for the accounting reporting to include completion of CT 600 and be able to file accounts to companies, house and HMRC,
which is the UK authorities. I'm not the UK product owner, so I can't go too much into the details here, but I know that one of the biggest tasks on which we're working right now, my UK product owner should probably be able to reply to you more precisely, but we are investing a lot in the online declaration directly to the HMRC services. So I believe you are going to get very good news, and I believe in a matter of days now, because I think a part of that was already released in 19.4 and with the timing of 19.4, and the rest will be coming before September, and that's going to be backported in preceding versions, so it's not going to be a master only release. I believe they are targeting 19, so in a matter of weeks, maximum 3 months now, you are going to see a massive release for connecting to HMRC. I don't think it's going to cover completely all cases. We are focusing mostly right now on the small businesses, because that's already, I think, 8 or 9 different full dedicated reports that need to be declared online, which is already pretty massive. But you are going to see some good news in the coming weeks for UK.
So for 19 and for 20.
Yeah, for 19 and then for the next versions.
Okay. Sure. Next is from Julius BG. Hello, do you plan a secondary fixed asset depreciation book in future versions in case you have different dates entering in exploitation DFA, company book vs fiscal book? Yeah, that's something we had in the previous versions, that you could, thanks to your models, create 2 entries for 2 fixed assets. Currently, we don't have it anymore. Do you have insight on this?
The base of it, so even though if it's not completely automated, the base of it remains. So you can still create an asset, put it in I've just talked about the ledgers here. Mm-hmm. So you can still link a specific asset to a specific ledger. Yeah. So you can create like another version of the assets in that specific journal that you put in your ledger, and then report on your assets, just based on what type of ledger that you use in all your reports. So I think it is still possible, and you can still have another asset, the same assets, but basically encoded twice, using different norms and then in separate journals, and then you use one or the other in your reporting like you do. So it's still linked to the same, I would say, very powerful feature that is the multi-ledgers that allows you to do something like that. I don't think it's worth showing that again anymore, but you see the idea.
All right. Helen Clow, when will the ability to send batch statements, follow-up reports to the accounts contact be available? At the moment, you can only send to the main contact, which is not the account's contact. So I think here you mean you want a specific contact for the follow-up. I don't know. I know that was the case in the previous version, which is not the case anymore.
Indeed.
Do we have something in mind for that?
Yeah, this is something that was removed when we redid the contact forms. I would basically evaluated that was not worth having multiple contacts and different type of contacts on the follow-up, which is already kind of a complicated feature in Odoo, and as a teaser, there will be another set of improvements done on that system coming for the 20. For now, we're not looking at really reintroducing specific contacts just for the follow-up of invoices. You can still have the base contact. You can still have the invoicing contact, and so that will be done. But for now, we've removed the third type of contact, which is only done for follow-ups. We take feedbacks on that. We don't think it was used so much that it was worth continuing to keep that complexity. It's always a trade-off that we have to decide upon, which is simplifying the software so that it is really easable for small users, and avoid having options and options for corner cases. But if you do not agree with that, we are still listening. So if there are so many people that say having dedicated follow-up contacts for specifically the follow-up and a reminder of invoices, if enough people tell us that it was worth the complexity, we reevaluate for sure.
Okay. Question from Facebook: can we select multi-ledgers in a journal?
I think it works the other way around.
Yeah, it's the other way around. So in your multi-ledger, you select which journal are in, right?
Exactly, and then you can have a journal in multiple ledgers. Yeah. That's no issue. But it's not a journal that is that decides on in which multi-ledger it is in. It is the multi-ledger that decides in which journal it's going to pick all the journal entries to be used on reports.
Question from Gregor Muro. Hi Greg. Invoice analysis, when will we be able to have past margins that are more influenced by current costs? That's a really good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. And it's an interesting one because a margin analysis in invoice analysis, margin as a measure in invoice analysis was not something that was there, I think, 2 years ago. And we thought, maybe we can do something quick and efficient to have some sort of easy margin analysis in invoice analysis. And that was basically the scope of that introduction. That margin analysis in invoice analysis does some very big shortcuts to actually be able to compute that. Yep. It does not look back into the history of the valuation of the product, the purchase, and all the sales. It's basically computed very quickly based on the cost of the product. Because also we thought this was a quick and easy and also performant way of putting such analysis there. If you are looking at something more complex, then we acknowledge that the simple margin analysis measure on invoice is not enough, and then you should go back on the complete sales analysis and the complete margin computation on every single sales to be able to put out that report, which is a bit outside of the scope of the basic invoice analysis right now. But again, it's very interesting because we thought it was a quick win, and we see that it's used more and more. And now, obviously, when something is there and it has limitations, people say we want more. So yeah, good feedback for me, and maybe we'll look at improving or making it a bit more complex to be able to answer that need better.
All right, to be continued. Question from LinkedIn: Does Odoo 19 support the stock ledger, product ledger, and stock reports?
Interesting one, because last week I was discussing with some of the product owners from our Asian market, where Odoo is growing a lot. And whereas in Belgium, or I would say even Europe, we haven't seen so much the need for a stock ledger report and things like that. Apparently, in the Asian markets, this is something that happens more often, and is even sometimes considered as a standard report that you need to produce. I've just received that feedback. We are considering it with our Asian product owners to see if we want to do something in our localizations, or if at one point we are going to put that in generic and maybe customized by localization. So this is a current topic. So I would say the quick answer is no, not yet, because we didn't get that much that need. But now that we are expanding in Asia, where the market is demanding for such a report, we are currently looking at it with my Indian and my Asian product owners from Hong Kong. They both require it, so we are having a look.
So
at
hot
it.
topic.
Yeah, and the good thing is when we do such things in localizations, once we release it, if we add it with the localization, we can usually backport it very easily. It's a new report, so it doesn't break anything. It's going to be a new module for the old versions, but if we do it, we are going to look at, can we put it back in 18, 19, the supported versions.
Okay, nice. So backport it even in the past. Where was I? Okay. When, there. Ahmed Abouri, when will version 19.3 be live in production on Odoo Online? I suppose you're asking about the upgrade, because it is live. So if you create a new database from scratch on odoo.com, well, you have the newest version, which is 19.3. For the upgrade, well, it's funny. I asked yesterday to our colleague. They are working on the script, and she couldn't give me a precise date. But we changed from 19.2, Odoo.com changed from 19.2 to 19.3. You know, that's the process. We upgrade first to know where are the struggles and so on. So that part is already done. So now they are working on the script to upgrade the other databases. So it should be ready soon, but I can't give you a correct date about that.
Yeah, exactly. So 19.3 is live now, but for new databases. So if the question is about upgrades, well, what we do at Odoo is we always migrate our gigantic database ourselves, and then once we're happy with it, we release the upgrade scripts. It's coming. It's a matter of weeks now. We're finalizing the last touches.
Yep. Question from Bastian Molenaar. Does Odoo recognize this applied exchange rate by the bank and calculate a currency difference when the applied currency rate internally differs from the currency rate the bank applied?
You can. So what Odoo is going to do when it's trying to reconcile two moves in foreign currencies is that you have very different setups that can happen. First, you have an invoice in foreign currency, but then your payment does not have the foreign currency. It uses your own currency. Basically, it's your bank, and it doesn't give you any information that it was linked to that amount in the other currency. Then we will always try to reconcile in the foreign currency, but as we don't have that amount in the bank, then we are going to take whatever exchange rate that we have available at that moment. So it's going to be the general rate in your database. Change that amount from your bank currency into the other currency, and then reconcile based on the foreign currency that was used on the invoice. Now, if your bank actually applied a specific currency rate, then you can encode, or it is encoded automatically in many of the online bank synchronization you have. But if you do that manually, you can encode both the amount in the currency of the bank and in the foreign currency that it represents. If if your bank has given you the information, you can encode it.
Yeah.
And so if you do that, you can encode manually the exchange rate applied by the bank. It gives you the information. And then Odoo will do the same process, always reconcile in the foreign currency. So if you have the information, Odoo will use it. If not, well, it does what it can to actually do some reconciliation.
Of course.
And then use the internal currency rate that is available. So if you have it, you can make it work.
And if you have the synchronization, it will work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
I
In most
mean,
of
in
them,
most
yes.
of the
Most
the
of them,
third
yes, but
parties
that
give it. Yeah.
Exactly. That really depends on the banks and the type of synchronization that you have available. But if Odoo at the end gets the information, it will work.
Indeed. All right. We still have some questions. Will Revolut from Davy? Will Revolut connection for payments be possible?
I think he means outgoing payments.
Yeah. I think as well.
We are working on payment execution, but right now I don't think Revolut is done. So this is really an execution flow of payments is something that has been released in 19.3 already, and we're expanding its coverage to introduce the ability to use more payment providers for that. Again, I'm not the PO for that part, so I think Revolut is not covered yet, but if we can make it work, we will definitely want to do it.
Yeah, we have now the step further we showed during the demo with Ponto, but it's the start, and
Exactly.
I suppose we go further and further.
We are already working on another payment execution provider.
Okay.
So the coverage will be expanded.
Okay, nice. We have 3 questions from LinkedIn. The first one is the current AP aging report displays balances for both vendors and employees. How can we separate vendor balances from employee balances in the report? Yeah.
Sorry.
There you go.
So it was the age payable, if I remember correctly?
Yep.
Okay. I would advise you to use this filter.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So you can select on your payable accounts whether you want to flag that account as a trade account, which is really your vendors, and your non-trade accounts. And basically you can use that filter to just say, no, I don't want my employees to be in the... so let's group by type, or could just filter here. Yeah. Oop. So suppliers, for example, you can basically flag specific payable accounts as non-trade, and then you can easily use your report with that.
So you create 2 different accounts. I suppose you only need 2, the one for the trade and one for the non-trade, and then you add it on your contact, of course, to be applied automatically.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Oh. That's your face. We have a trading, non-trading filter in the AP aging report, but it's not working as expected. How can this be corrected?
Well,
it should work if your configuration is well set. So if you put it on the correct account, and if that account is well set on your contact, well, then you have the whole flow.
Yeah.
If it's not working correctly, well, then I propose you create a support ticket on odoo.com/help, because that's the whole purpose of it.
Exactly. It should work. So if it does not, or if you find that there is a bug, please send that directly to the support, and we'll directly have a look at it.
Exactly.
But as far as I know, it works. But
yep, I tested already.
Okay.
How can vendor advances be separated and displayed independently in the AP aging report?
Vendor advances. So you mean like prepayments that you have done to
I suppose
vendors?
Well, the thing is, again, here it depends on what you want to see, but I suppose here in this case it will go on the same account, and it will just be a prepayment linked to your vendor, so there is no real separation that could be done. Or you can go a step further, use another payable account that would be a non-trade, and you separate it like that. But I'm not sure then the purpose is really that's not the purpose, because I suppose you want to see everything related to the same vendor and have it differentiation there.
Yeah, and if you have done like a payment that impacts the payable account, sorry, even if it's not linked to another invoice, it will appear in the report. So you will see that that payment actually impacts the balance of that partner. So
we have it here, I think. Yeah, you
I
see
was
here,
looking for an
this is a
good
payment related to bills. So you see, pretty clearly how the payments are impacted. So here in this case, I'm not sure about why you need a specific differentiation, but in the end, you see your payment related to the correct vendor.
Mm-hmm. So it will affect the balances, so you should be able to see it already.
What about the 6B link integration Swiss market? Well, we I don't know if you're. So it's a question from Austrian official. We had that question just before. We are working on the Swiss market, and we are pretty close to have something. So we cannot say when it will be released, but we're working on it.
It is already developed. So the funny part is that the hardest part is already developed. And now it's only a matter of, compliance, getting agreements and things like that, which is always the hardest part. And indeed, the Swiss have very high requirements for us to comply with those. But funnily enough, the development part is mostly done. So it's the final stages, and once we get the clearance, it's going to be done. But we don't decide that when ourselves, so it's very hard for me to give you a precise date.
Question from Super Mario Moro. Where can we get the update scripts from? 19.0, 19.1, 19.2, 19.3? That's a really good question, actually.
Those are available in a specific repository. So for the people that are not on SaaS, which are the only ones that really need those scripts, in a specific repository, which is the Odoo upgrade repository, but that is only available for enterprise customers. So it's not a community given for free repository. Only people that have an enterprise subscription actually get access to those. Okay. So it's basically a specific GitHub repository where you get all of those, and you can use them if you on SH or have your own on-premise installation.
All right. 3 last questions from Shabdul Bazit. Does Odoo give payment gateways according to Pakistan?
I don't think we have that yet.
Okay.
I think the Pakistan localization is actually being worked on intensively by our Dubai office for the MENA region, but I don't think they have a payment gateway specific for Pakistan yet.
Okay.
Not off the table, but I don't think they're working on it.
Okay. Churchill Business Systems. Well, you have a lot of questions. Are you doing any development work on customer statements and vendor remittances? Yeah, we are working on customer statements, vendor remittances. Not sure.
So, what we are doing, so basically, I'm already ahead, so I have to work back on the previous versions. But this will also be improved massively after those versions. But in 19.3, you always file the customer statements as a variant of the partner ledger, which is not something that I like, and this will be changed. It will have its own separate menu.
Because that was already the case from 19.
Yeah, that is the old way of doing it. But if we go back to that, you have that customer statement available here. You can of course select specific partners, so you can do your selections, and if you need to send that, maybe not to all of them, but you click on send, and then you will have not in this database apparently, the ability to send it based on the partners that are selected there, and they will all receive, obviously not the customer statement of the other vendor, but each of those customers will receive on their contact form a printed version of that report with the detail of their report.
This, basically.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. I put a lot of data in it.
I see that. So customer statements are already partially there, and they allow easy sending to all the partners depending on the filters that you use manually. And it's going to be improved yet again in 20 by allowing you to access this in a more easy way.
Interesting. We have then the last question, Super Mario Moro again, about banks. Any way to connect ING Luxembourg accounts to Odoo? That's really specific.
That's a very good question.
I suppose you're asking that question because it's not possible for the moment. And yeah, are you aware of anything specific related to that specific bank in Luxembourg?
No, I know. I don't know, but I'm surprised that it's not possible. But I can ask the questions to the guys that are working on those. If you try to create an Odoo trial database for Luxembourg, see if when you try to connect a bank, that specific banks appear in the list of available banks. I think it is, but again, I haven't looked at the detailed list of available banks for Luxembourg specifically. I just know that we cover around 50,000 different banks. So I'm surprised that ING Luxembourg wouldn't be in there.
Same for me.
If it's not, then it's probably because our current providers do not cover that bank specifically. We are always looking at new providers to extend yet again our coverage. We know that in some specific part of the world, the coverage is not good yet, like South America, which has their own specific providers, or they sometimes they have providers, but they cover like 2 banks, so it's not really that useful. If this is not the case, that's interesting, because Luxembourg should be pretty well covered, in my opinion. So,
yep. Okay, well, thank you all for all your questions. That was it about, questions. And if you have feedbacks, please share them, of course, through odoo.com/help. Thank you for your question. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed seeing those new features. Thanks, Christophe, for being here as well. And see you next time.
See you.